In this video we're going to look at how you can create a different stitch effect to your blanket. So if you wanted, for example, to create a ribbed effect, so you had some flatter stitches with some bumpier stitches, then some flatter stitches, I'm going to show you how to do a purl stitch. So currently what you're looking at on this side of your blanket is the knit stitch. If you turn it over, you have these bumpy stitches, which are purl bumps, purl stitches. What we're going to do in this video is to alternate rows of knit stitches and then purl stitches to show you how you can create that ribbed effect. So to do our knit stitches, we know that we are essentially working with the working yarn in front of us, and we're slipping the first one as before and then grabbing that working yarn in front of us like that. For a purl stitch, you actually want to have your working yarn around the front of you, so between your body and the knitting, as opposed to out here in front. So you bring that yarn around the front first, then you slip your first stitch, and then you knit your next stitch, but you collect your yarn in front, so in between your body and your blanket, before taking the stitch off and passing the new loop across. Now, as you can see, what's happened here is it's created this little bar across the stitch, and that's a bump like the ones on the other side essentially. So we carry on like that. So old arm grabs the yarn, take the next stitch off. So you can see we're getting these little bumps. If I do a few more, it will be a bit more evident. And then we're on to the last one of the row. There we go. So if I lay that out now, you can see just by moving the yarn to this side as opposed to working with it out in front, we've now created a row of these bumps here like that. I'm going to do another row of bumps. Okay, so I'm going to slip the first stitch, and then old arm is going to grab the yarn here. I'm going to do 2 rows of bumps, and then I'm going to do a row of normal knitted stitches, just to show you the contrast and the effect that it creates on your blanket. Just unraveling a little bit more yarn. And the last one. Okay, so let's have a look at that. So you can see that we've created, so we've got our flatter knit stitches, and then we've got 2 rows of purl bumps like that. But you're really only going to see the full effect of these when I've done another row or 2 of knit stitches. So to continue with the knit stitches, we're going to now bring that working yarn out in front, as we've had for the standard knitting we've done. So we'll slip the first stitch, and now we're grabbing the yarn out in front here. And we'll do a couple of rows just so you get the full effect. And we'll go back the other way. And actually you can create some quite interesting textures to your blanket if you alternate these stitches. You could even do alternate knit one, purl one, as you might have heard your grandma talk about doing. Right then, so that's 2 rows of purl and 2 rows of knitted stitches. Obviously we've condensed them onto a short space on my arm there, so you can't see the full width of what I've created, but you can see the difference. So if you create, say, 3 or 4 rows of knit, 2 rows of purl, 3 or 4 rows of knit, 2 rows of purl, you end up with this really nice stripe effect across your blanket, a nice ribbed effect. And what you could do, as I was saying, is alternate. So you could do almost like a waffle effect on a blanket. So if you worked in even number of stitches, you could do 3 purl and then 3 knit, 3 purl, 3 knit, and then on the next row where you've got a purl, you could do 3 knit alongside it, and then alongside the knit stitches you do 3 purl. So you're building up squares of purl with squares of knit that alternate a bit like a checkerboard. The choice is yours really. You can really go as complex as you like, but it just adds another element of interest really to your blanket to start using different types of stitch.